cards in my hand, searching for signs, lost in the sand, whispers of fate, echoes of dreams.
Good morning, Angelina. Good morning, Maureen. Good morning, the rest of the universe out there. And welcome to the My Tarot Morning Reflection Hour. Daily inventory and what? Reminder to take a breath. And to try and find a little positivity during our day. You know, I was sitting there thinking about that. It's like, you know, do I always wake up smiling? Heck no. But, like I say, after doing this for so long, for so many years now, I was thinking about that. It's like that breath. It's, you know, listening to the cards like they're the sounds of the ocean. And the camera comes on and it's, you know how they would say, look in a mirror and say something positive to yourself? Well, it's kind of like that. And I guess that it's one of those things when we get used to that light switch where we do something positive, it's just an automatic reaction. So, again, that's why I encourage people whenever the Hermit pops up or whenever we're having a good conversation when I'm doing a reading, I love to ask somebody, where's your mountain? And it could be, again, it could be just pillows on a comfortable corner. It's my tarot room here. That's mine. But it's that place that I know that when I go there, my shoulders can drop down. And, you know, I'm going to put my feet flat on the floor and have my butt do the kitty dance and see where my shoulders are, my neck relax. And I guess because, you know, maybe I have brainwashed myself. And maybe my brain needed washing. Maybe that's what it is. So anyway, enough rambling. But I was thinking about this. Like I come in here, it's like, you know, I could have had a really bad time last night and not had any sleep. But I know this is one time where I'm just going to have a natural smile. So thank you. It's a good way to start the day. So, here we have our cards. Here we are listening to them. And here we are going to our tabletop. Here we're chuckling a little. Actually, it's the liquid sunshine here. Good morning, Jenny. So, with those shoulders relaxed, we are now going to check in with the universe. Or once again, as I remind myself, whether it's through meditation or tarot, it's where the universe holds up a mirror and asks us, what do we see? And for me, I use the tarot, and I share that with people, and hopefully they see that reflection. So here's our 3 stacks. Each one a different thread going out to the universe. Each one's a different thought or idea. And if we believe in the multiverse, it's like each one of these is a different path, because this stack will lead down one path, this stack will lead down another path, and this is a totally different conversation to take us in a totally different direction. And using the intuition, good morning, Corina, which rhymes with Mina. I'm going to take the bottom stack today, or what I like to think of as things that are underneath that might be influencing us and we don't even know it. And I am going to do our 3 in 1. Flipping each one over one at a time like we're reading the pages of a book. So, first we have justice. Look at this. So, you know, it's funny, when I went to Italy, I love the fact, and this is why I teach tarot history, is that in Florence, you go to the piazza, and you see this carved right onto the walls. So if this is the 15th century, to read tarot would be a natural thing because you know what this means. So if we bring that forward to our time now, this is somebody who's clear-sighted. This is somebody who sees things for the way they are. They see things without emotion, without the filter of emotion. The sword is straight. We've got our scales here to weigh things. So this is a card of making the effort to see things without the emotions that are going to throw it out of balance. Because look at what we have here. Here's the 7 of Swords. So again, we have swords here. You know, with justice, swords are the element of air. Swords are our thoughts, our ideas, and our anxieties, right? So look at this guy. You know that Pamela Coleman Smith, when she drew this, she had an intent with this. So 7s are about potential, drive, ambition. We're doing the numerology from 1 to 10, and 7, you know, we're getting close to that 10. So 1, we plant that seed, you know, a new idea. 2, we have choices to make with those ideas. 4, it's like 4s are the 4 legs on the table, nice and stable. 5s, am I going to make it? 5s are always a challenge. 6 is where we have a chance to reflect back. It's harmony and improvement. But these are swords again. So 1 sword is great. 4 swords, we finally, you know, we have some stability. But 5 swords, these are also our anxieties and things that weigh us down. Right? So by the time we get to the 7 of Swords, I always ask somebody in a reading, you know, when you're tired, you don't get enough sleep, you're not taking care of yourself, or things are just wearing you down. Have you ever done things you normally wouldn't do? And come back later and say, what was I thinking? Oh my gosh. Well, if swords are like our anxieties, swords are those things that blind us when we get too many swords in our hands, when we have things we need to do, when we allowed our thinking to be clogged, allowed our thinking to be blinded by emotions. Sometimes we do things we normally wouldn't. We'll take shortcuts. You know, this person knows that, you know what, they're like, screw it. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do, you know, and they're doing it. And they may come back later and regret it, or maybe they don't get caught. It's just one of those things where, you know, here we have justice. It's saying we need to be clear-sighted. We need to have the ability to do this without emotions. That means we need to take care of ourselves. But sometimes taking care of ourselves is hard to do. So what is this thief, what is this person looking so intently at? The Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands, court cards can be us, they could be somebody else, or they could just be part of a situation. And pages are when we are open to learning. Pages are when we are, you know, a page wants to learn to be a knight. A knight wants to learn to be a king. Pages are the element of earth, so they're grounded. That's when we are interested in the things around us. And wands are fire, action, activity, movement, passion, creativity. So when we see the Page of Wand here, we have to ask ourselves, what's going on? What is the next right thing? My favorite thing to say. What is the next right thing? You know, what can we learn? Because pages are open to learning. So we know we should be eating better. Or we know we should be trying to do a job, not where we get tired. You know, you ever heard of HALT? What does HALT mean? HALT means don't go hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. So we know what HALT means. But, and we can sit back and we can be justice, and still we let ourselves get wrapped around the axle. We go hungry, we get angry, we get lonely, we get tired. We start doing things we normally wouldn't do. But the page has turned their back on the Seven of Swords, because this is logic right here. We know the difference. We know when we are thinking clearly. We know that if we actually spent 7 days getting 8 hours sleep, we're going to be different in a situation than if we are not eating healthy, if we are not getting sleep, if we're not taking care of ourselves. So with the page, it's about reflecting where we came from. Those things where we said, what was I thinking? We know what we were thinking. We know that we were not seeing things clearly, doing the things to make sure that we had our eyes wide open and clear. So let's take a look at the advice card, which is the Emperor. So what is the Emperor? The Emperor, and court cards in general, they're not male or female. It's masculine energy. It's feminine energy. And this being the Ram card, she slips in astrology in the cards. But this is an emperor. And what does an emperor do? An emperor guards. An emperor makes sure that things happen. An emperor takes care of things. An emperor will put aside his own feelings. An emperor will do what needs to be done. So imagine this. Imagine one day we were actually able to wake up and we had the emperor there, or we become the emperor, and we lay down dictates that says, for the wheat to grow, for the country to flourish, we need to take a look at what's going on. We need to take a look at, make sure that hunger is taken care of. If there are disputes, anger are taken care of. Are the people feeling lonely? Are they isolated? Are people tired because they're overworking? The emperor will say, what do I need to do? Because think of it like this. We are the emperor and we have a hula hoop. Love my hula hoop analogy, but outside this hula, we can't control people, places, and things. But we can be the emperor of everything inside that hula hoop. So let's learn from the past so that we can be like this page. We know when we were right or wrong, or we know when we were being healthy or unhealthy. We know the effect that that can have on us, to where, you know what this is? This is me doing 80% of the work in the last 20% of the time. When I get tired, Facebook might become more important. Other things are more important. I know I have a project to complete. I'll complete the project, but I'll complete it by doing the last 80% in the last 20% of the time. So today, the Emperor is all about that hula hoop. And the Emperor has said, we are now going to go through this cycle again. And the Emperor is going to have justice, review our situation today, and help us maybe make a list and see where our anxieties or those things that might be steering us off course, so that we can review, somebody once explained to me that the difference between experience and wisdom. Experience is when you have to do something yourself. Wisdom is when you can learn from somebody else's fuck up. Experience is you have to F up yourself. Wisdom is learning from somebody else's F up, which means that we can be the page today. The Emperor is going to help us set things right. So, with that, I hope everybody has an amazing day. Just think about what we're not thinking about because of the anxieties are hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And then have the Emperor sit down and help us see things clearly, see what we need to do, and avoid the Seven of Swords. With that, I hope everybody has that amazing, amazing, amazing day. It's autumn out there. It feels nice and crisp. I get to wear my jacket. You guys take care, and I will see everybody tomorrow.
Stars in the sky, cards in my hand, searching for signs, lost in the sand. Whispers of fate, echoes of dreams in the dark slate. Nothing's as it seems. Flip the cards, turn around. The stories we have found in the shadows we dance. Take a chance, take a chance. Ghostly figures, guiding light, readers and seekers in the night. Hopes and fears, written in gold. Truth appears as stories unfold. Flip the cards, turn around. The stories we have found in the shadows we dance. Take a chance, take a chance. Truth appears as stories unfold. Flip the cards, turn around. The stories we have found in the shadows we dance. Take a chance, take a chance. Readers and seekers. Truth appears as stories